Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated Superstar Team Vicious. And we're going to go over Raw to see what was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Now, before we do, first and foremost, do want to remind everyone, we are a WWE Shop affiliate. So what that means is, if you are watching this on the Main Event Wrestling Network YouTube page, all you got to do, scan that QR code right there. Wade, you better have put that QR code up, and I better not be pointing at nothing inappropriate. Or if you're watching this on my personal YouTube page, or listening to this wherever you get podcasts from, all you got to do is simple. Check out the description tab. Scan the QR code, check the description tabs, however you want to go and get to it. But you follow those, it'll take you to WWE Shop. You go and you make a purchase. Now you're already planning on going on there anyway, right? You got a couple bucks set aside. You got some friends and family you got friends and family. Christmas coming around the corner. We got to start prepping early. You got Halloween stuff. You may have little kids, cousins, nephews, nieces that may want to dress up like one of their favorite WWE wrestlers. So, you're going to get something from there on that, right? Easy enough. Click that link, make that purchase, and when you do, we here at the Vicious Studios wind up receiving a small nominal commission, which helps us in the long run, in which we can then use that to make this show bigger and better for you. So, like I always say, you guys help us, we in turn help you in any and all types of ways. So with that said, now other big news that we do need to address. This news actually broke in the middle of Monday Night Raw, effective Monday, October 7th. Monday Night Raw, from that time, October 7th, until their final Raw on USA, Monday Night Raw is going to be transitioning back to 2 hours. So, that's a pretty big deal, and I know there's a lot, and I mean a lot of people. It's the very loud minority that goes and screams and yells, "Oh, the 3-hour show sucks, it's this, it's that, blah, 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 blah." And then you also have a very loud minority that's very pro 3 hours because they say, well, having 3 hours you can do this and this and this and this, blah, 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 blah. I'm kind of like Sweden, and I'm in the middle when it comes to the 3-hour concept because I see the good and I see the bad, and it depends on how tired I am, and if I got enough sleep the night before, on how I feel about 3 hour. Easy for me to say, a 3-hour Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I don't know if that means that Netflix is going to transition into 2 hours. I don't know if Netflix is going to be 2 hours or 3 hours, but I'm curious. This is raising more questions than answers in my book, and I love when it gets to that point because then I'm just like, okay, you've piqued my interest. Go on. So yeah, that's the big news that we got on that. So now with that said, we're going to switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. The show started out with Cody and the Bloodline starting out the show. Cody out there addressing, Bash of Berlin, talking about on how he's waiting for who his next opponent should be, expecting somebody to come out and interrupt him, and then out comes the Bloodline, and then acknowledges Solo saying, in the sense of, I know you said you're next, however, Jacob Fatu, step forward. Jacob comes forward, doing that prayer hands, angry, shaking look on him. And then, Jacob, I call you out. I challenge you. With Cody giving the opportunity for Jacob to challenge, which, to me, that just, okay, this is interesting. How are we going to play this out? And Jacob just like, turns around, goes over to Solo. My tribal chief, I acknowledge you. I love you. And then backs off. And that right there freaking sold me, because when you look at it from a character perspective, that right there is saying Jacob is so blindly loyal to Solo that he is willing to give up a world title opportunity to let Solo have it. You look back in any other faction history, I cannot recall any that ever did anything like that. I don't ever recall DX doing anything like that. I sure as hell don't recall the NWO doing anything like that. I don't recall anything from ECW with the Triple Threat or any other kind of groups doing something like that. I don't recall anything from TNA doing anything along those lines. So yeah, I would say that's a pretty damn big deal character-wise. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But after that, Solo pretty much again saying, I got next. And then the rest of the Bloodline gets in. Cody takes off his suit jacket. Looks like he knows what's about to go down. It's a 4-on-1 beatdown. And he's just like, alright, it has this look like, alright, if I'm going to get my ass whooped, I'm taking some of y'all with me. And then out come the Prophets in DIY, chairs in hand. Nick Aldis springs up out of nowhere, like using Undertaker magic powers. Whoa, gentlemen. Before this gets out of hand, there's an easier way to settle this. Cody, Solo, you two are going to compete next week on the SmackDown season premiere on USA, which, on a side note, as much as people can say whatever they want about WWE, whether to a point or to come off like you just got a raging hate boner, say what you want about them, but man, they really do know on how to do some pretty badass premiere episodes. But all this then saying, instead of you two next week on the USA SmackDown season premiere, and it's going to be in a solid steel cage match, which means no one in or out. So yeah. Now with that said, the other highlights from SmackDown, we had BBL Bayley going against Tiffany Stratton. Good match. I thought it was decent. Bayley got the win thanks to Nia, because Nia wound up confronting Tiffany earlier about with the look on her face from the week beforehand, talking about on how looked like you were going to cash in on me. You weren't, were you? No. It was just meant to throw her off. But you wouldn't mind coming out to give me a hand, would you? No, Nia, I'll give you the same kind of help you gave me. And then, so yeah, Nia comes out, winds up throwing Tiff off, and then Bayley gets the win with the Rose Plant, blah, blah, blah. So then we wind up getting Giovanni Vinci going against Apollo Crews, and this is Gio's big debut. They hyped him up for a couple weeks now. The vignettes, the hype, the glitz, the glamour. You see him coming down looking oh so proud that smug Italian pride, that I'ma make your mama call me daddy strut. And then just, oh, he gets in the ring. It's my time, people. Goes, unzips the tracksuit, goes to take it off, and it's just like, apparently my arms are so big I can't fit them through the sleeves on this tracksuit to take them off. And then he's struggling to take off the sleeves for his jacket, and as he's doing that, Cruz is just like, yeah, fuck this shit. Boom! Rolls him up for a quick schoolboy roll up, 1, 2, 3. Apollo Crews gets the win. Gio's in shock like, what? No! I seen my Twitter timeline blew up with, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. They're burying him, blah, 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 blah. Guys, they are not. That was the whole reason for the debut. Make him out to look like God's gift to pro wrestling. Only to have him lose in 3 seconds in the most humiliating way possible. So now he's gonna build up from that. Like, you wanna think I'm a joke? Well, hold my beer, watch this while I wind up taking all of these guys to the woodshed. Easy peasy, right? Right. Then we had Kevin Owens going against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and KO wound up issuing this challenge to them in the back from a segment, trying to go and be like, hey, listen, guys. I know you two don't really like each other or trust each other. Oh no, we do trust each other. Really. Then why is he always speaking for you? I don't always speak for me, so you're okay with him speak for you? No, that kind of stuff. And then it eventually turned into a triple threat. It was a good match. KO got the win, not a surprise. And then we get to the main event of SmackDown. It was the Bloodline, all 4 members, going against DIY and the Street Profits. And this was a good match. I liked it. Not a surprise, the Bloodline wound up getting the win, which, given the match that they got coming up, you know, with Solo doing this cage, yeah, they need it. So I got, like I said before, I got no doubt that match is going to be one hell of a banger between Cody and Solo. So with that said, let's get into this week's show, Raw, Calgary, Alberta. It starts right out the gate with a match. Excuse me. And it is American Made. I still think they left money on the table not having Gable's American Made stable not come out to Hulk Hogan's American Made WCW theme. American Made versus the Wyatt Six in an 8-person mixed tag street fight. So you got American Made, Gable, the Creed Brothers, and Ivy going against the Wyatt Six. And, man, wow. This was a car wreck right from the start. It was like, now, Gable's crew, they were leading at this during the second act of the match, so to say. You know, you break down a match, you got your beginning arc, your middle, which is the meat of the match, where everyone's like, whoa. And then you got your closing part of the match. But it was great. I dug this match. Gable's team, they were leading during the second act of the match. And at one point, Eric Rowan wound up getting taken out and then buried. Had a whole ton of debris buried on top of him. Broken tables, chairs, all that good stuff. And then, just like from the old video game, Golden Axe, Eric Rowan, rise from your grave. Boom! Came up out of nowhere, rose, and then just proceeded to wreck everything that was in front of him. Helped wreck house, destroy everything. And my biggest takeaway from this match, more than anything, was on how Uncle Howdy just sat in his rocker the whole time watching, rocking in his chair, all while his boys and Abby wound up going to town on wound up taking on everyone. And Uncle Howdy did not move up until the end. He came out, got off the rocker, came out, hit a few Uranagis, hit his sister Abigail, and the match wound up coming to an end when excuse me, when Rowan wound up doing a choke slam, and then Loomis did a splash onto Gable for the 1, 2, 3. That was it. And yeah, wow. Also, should note that the first hour of Raw was all commercial free, so it was nice to see they actually had the little picture-in-picture stills. So it was different, but it was a good kind of different because you don't typically see the PIPs on Monday night. But next up, we have women's tag action. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire going against Jade and Bianca. Yeah. And the match, it had a nice good pace to it. I dug it. Jade was surprisingly the punching bag for her team in this match, which threw me off because I'm not used to seeing Jade being the punching bag and then having to get put on the ass end of the ass whooping. It's normally Bianca's job, but it was, again, good different. Jade wound up being it, and I think that also helps her with her in-ring work in the long run. But she wound up doing that. Then Bianca got the hot tag in, they started cleaning up. And then Bianca wound up being the punching bag for a bit. Jade got tagged in, but it wasn't a hot tag though. She wound up coming in, started working a bit. Match came to an end when Jade and Bianca wound up doing that double team face buster, that double team face code breaker into a deadlift German onto Alba for the 1, 2, 3. Did neglect to mention at the beginning of when I was talking about this match, this was for the women's tag titles, so Jade and Bianca are still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Next up, we got Dominic Mysterio going against Dragon Lee in a one-on-one match, and this nice, good WWE style lucha match. Now, this wasn't anything obviously like you'd see if you were watching CMLL or AAA down in Mexico, or even if you were looking at old Lucha Underground tapes. It's kind of weird to say old Lucha Underground tapes given how long it's been since it debuted, but either way. Excuse me. Either way, it was WWE Lucha style. Now, if you understand what I mean by that, great. For those that don't, sit on down for a second. Professor Tim's going to explain it to you. WWE, we all know WWE has the quote-unquote WWE style, which some argue it's a little safer, to make sure you don't need to do this and this and this and this and this just to get to this move. But for the lucha guys, yeah, you need to go and throw out a handful of like high flyers, head scissors, flips, the flippity floppity stuff. And I'm not saying that in a dismissive way. I don't know on how else to describe it though. But WWE does allow it to an extent if you're trained in it. Now, they had that. Dom and Dragon Lee, they had that. Lee, he was leading post-break with the picture-in-picture. It was a good match. I dug it. It came to an end when the LWO and Judgment Day, they were bickering and fighting for a little bit outside the ring. And then Liv wound up coming out of nowhere, clipped Dragon Lee's leg with a chop block. And then Dom hit the 619 and then went froggy right on him for the 1, 2, 3. Boom. Now, next up we had Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville in Pure Fusion Collective. Finally got the name right. If you watched, You know I can't say, I've had the hardest time saying that right. This is the first time I ever said it right on here, damn it. I deserve a cookie. Going against Zelina Vega, Lyra Valkyria, and much to the surprise of, well, the commentators, not so much me, it was Natalya as their third mystery partner. And why it was not a surprise to me is because of the fact of where they're at. They were in Canada, and this next part's going to sound kind of rude, but I mean it in the most sincere way. They were in Canada, and Canadian law is weird in the sense of you can't air TV programming in Canada unless you have X amount of people from Canada in it. So let's just say, for example, if this show right here was to be presented on regular cable TV, I couldn't do it unless I had a handful of Canadian people on this show. Now, for obvious story reasons, there was also legit reasons saying Natalya, she's a submission wrestler, she's had problems with these girls in the past, so yeah, makes sense. So, as far as the match went, the Pure Fusion Collective wound up leading the match. Well, it was a good start. The PFC wound up leading into the break with the picture-in-picture. Zelina as the punching bag. Natalya wound up getting a hot tag in. Got a decent hometown pop. You know, being the daughter of a Hart. You know, and her daddy being Jim the Anvil, that big bastard. But it was a good match. It was decent. Match came to an end when Natalya got the hot tag, and then wound up putting the sharpshooter onto Zoe. And should also note it ended with Zelina and Lyra also having sharpshooters locked in, also on the other girls. So yeah. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio going up against Finn Balor, and good God almighty, I like this idea. I love this right here. Nice good pace. Rey, he was leading into the break, and this was actually a commercial break, not PIP. Finn wound up picking up the pace post-break. It was a good match. It ended in a DQ where Finn had Rey's leg hooked in a one-legged Boston Crab and completely ignored the ref's 5 count to let go. But I dug this because this core memory unlock, it brought back shades of Finn Fergal, Devitt, of back when he was the OG original leader of the Bullet Club. And so, I'm all for it. If we can get a mean, nasty heel Finn going out there night after night, week after week, TV episode to TV episode, sign me the fuck up. I'm all for it. So now we come to main event of the night. Now, before I do, also want to note, thank you, Wade. See, I do show gratitude to you. It's even here on the show to prove it. Do also want to note, after the match and the bell was called, Finn did do a post-match beatdown onto Rey. So now we come to the main event of the night. Fatal 4-Way to determine the next number 1 contender for Braun Breaker's Intercontinental Championship. We had main event Jey Uso. We had the Mad Russian himself, Ilya Dragunov. We had the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, and we had that one big son of a bitch, Braun Strowman, coming on out. And this, nice good solid start. Everyone looking to go and getting to shine. It's a fatal 4-way, which means no DQs. So much to no surprise, it's going to be a car wreck. There's going to be mayhem going on around. It was a good match. I liked it. Excuse me. At one point, Strowman was on the outside, and then you just see out of nowhere, you see Bronson Reed out of nowhere, boom, do a tsunami to take out Strowman, and just like, whoa, what the fuck? How could a guy that quick just pop up out of nowhere? Wow. Just wow. Oof. Creepy. But either way, Strowman was out, which then led to Jay, Ilya, and Pete getting to pretty much have it be a triple threat. So they all wound up shining. They all did great. Excuse me. Match came to an end when Ilya wound up doing the H-bomb onto Dunn. And then as the refs count 1, 2, super kick right to Jay. Super kick from Jay onto Pete Dunne. Takes him off. And then goes up. Does the Big Uso splash. Boom. For the 1, the 2, the 3. So your winner and new number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Main event, Jey Uso, yeet. And then the show ended with Jay celebrating and then turning around seeing Braun Breaker in the ring. Like, oh, okay, Us. I see you. Alright, yeah, that title looks nice, right? Yeah, it's going to be mine soon. Just wait. So, with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, whether you're watching this on the Main Event Network or my own personal YouTube page. Subscribe. In fact, why not subscribe to both channels? Because here's the thing. Not only are you going to get this show on either or, on the Main Event Network page, they pump out all kinds of shorts and reels for you to watch and enjoy. They also have plenty of other wrestling content. Also, folks, here on my personal YouTube page, not only do you get this, you'll also get the Vicious Karaoke Party videos, which we do the Vicious Karaoke Party every Friday at 7 p.m. EST. It's the most fun you can have the hour right before SmackDown starts. We also get Vicious Chats, which is a bi-weekly talk show, which, folks, we pump out them guests, we get some pretty interesting cats on there. It's not just wrestling people I'm talking to everyone. Also, folks, we got Vicious Words of Wisdom, where you're getting these random shorts, where you'll get these shorts where you just have me explaining the most random things in the world to you, just like I did earlier this past week, giving my words of wisdom about Cupid. Check that out. Also, folks, you never know when I'm going to pop up a random video here and there just for some amusement and some laughs. But with that said, like I said a moment ago, that is it for this week's show. So, make sure you like the video, subscribe to whatever channel you're listening to this on, and share this out with everyone. If you're listening to this on audio form, give us a follow, leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. Also, folks, thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, check out whatamaneuver.net for some Vicious Rants apparel like you see me wearing right here. I got the Vicious Rants tank. We also have t-shirts, long sleeves, women's tees, baby onesies, and toddler tees for those that have small chitlins. Don't forget to follow these cool ass cats already on the Twitter, DSB_IV, main event _net, the Main Event Wrestling Network Twitter account. Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, DDryer1986. I am on Twitter at Tim Vicious as well. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me.
Shut up and sit down.
Fuck you.